and then I felt this separation anxiety or this fear of not feeling safe. So I wanted to call my mum, and because I wanted someone to hug me so that I could feel safe. Um, and yeah, and then all of a sudden it kind of stopped, and then I would get these sudden fears, and now I feel like a constant fear in my chest, like a weight on my chest of extreme fear.
Yes. And when did this happen? How,
Um, when I was in Chile around 2019, I think.
2019, that was a couple years ago.
Yeah,
So you're 21 now, and you're 19. Were you talking to anyone in this conscious state? Did you talk to anyone? Yeah, did you have any contact with anyone?
yeah.
Um, were they aware of you? They'd say to you that you seem kind of strange or different.
Yeah. Well, I was explaining to my aunt the state that I was in the moment. Um, yeah,
And you were telling her that you were in the moment.
yeah,
Did she understand what you were talking about?
yeah. Because she's into that kind of stuff, but she didn't really take me seriously.
Or she did not take you seriously?
No.
Oh, all right. And did you ever, when you wanted, you call your mom for a hug, and did she answer you? Did you talk to
Yeah,
her? Did you explain to her what was going on?
yeah.
And what did she say?
Well, she was worried about me. She
Yeah,
thought I was having. Anyway, she seemed to not do much about it though.
yeah. Well, I think she was more concerned about your hallucinating or uh, tripping out,
No, I
being.
wasn't hallucinating or tripping out.
No, no, no. What she may have thought.
Oh,
Yeah, no, very important. Gurdjieff says something very important. He says that we have buffers. Buffers are like the old cars, say, were built, say, 30 years ago. They had uh, a front of their car had a bumper, and this bumper protected their car to a certain level, to a certain degree. If you hit someone at 5 miles per hour, it wouldn't cause a lot of damage. The bumper will protect the car, the body of the car. Or you'll see kind of bumpers on tugboats. They have these big tires or balloons, balloon-shaped objects, and they manipulate these big ships and pushes them, and they without damaging their tugboat. So these are called buffers. Uh, the buffer prevents the object from hitting or changing the nature of the object. Okay. Now, human nature, as Gurdjieff says, are built-in buffers. What are their buffers? Is to hide the truth. Man is not capable of seeing the truth. What is the truth? To see how confused we are, to see the reality that we don't have free will. Everybody believes in free will. Don't help us keep our sanity. And it's a way of lying, meaning that we don't see that we are lying. We imagine that we have all these powers. An individual, uh, there was a news about Putin, the Russian president, Putin, and they showed him has a villa, costs over $1.2 billion, and it has, I mean, it was huge. It was like several mansions together, and an individual has what is called pride, a Napoleon complex. They have an exaggeration of their abilities and their powers. This is necessary because what's underneath that is a feeling of deep inferiority and inadequacy. So they need to compensate from their feelings to come to what I call exaggeration of their abilities and wanting to feel superior. But under that is a deep feeling of inferiority and inadequacy. And you can see individuals who are so, whatever they do has to be grandiose, has to be great. Fame is another way to express this excessive pride and desire for superiority. All right, so human nature has to have buffers to buffer all our nature, because our nature to help us maintain a certain balance. Meaning that we don't want to, when we're depressed, depression is just telling us that the object that we want, or the thing that we wanted, requires requires more effort than we're willing to put in. And we put on our certain level of effort, and we don't get what we want, and so we go into depression. There is clinical depression, yes, but this is, talking about emotional depression that has to do with not getting our needs and desires met. So here you had an experience, and I'm going to do my best to endeavor to help you understand it. You had a moment of an awake state, a conscious state. Eckhart Tolle talks about being in the present, being in the now. And, he has a million followers. But I doubt anyone can duplicate what he's expressing. Why? Because to be in the now is living from this intelligence that the book that we're reading. The intelligence is an awakened state. It's separate from the ego intellect. The ego intellect expresses the memory. And you're 21, so you've had, say, at least 20 years of conditioning and programming. And so in that programmed is you have beliefs, attitudes, habits, and patterns of behavior that helps you try to lead some kind of life. All the tools, you to pick up tools. What are these tools? How to walk, how to talk, how to communicate, study, listen, and strive for some kind of education or profession. So this is necessity. That's a low level of consciousness. We're aware of our desires, and the ego is aware of its desires and expresses those desires and has reactions if those desires are not met. The ego state is a competitive comparison state of being. It's a low-level state. This intelligence that Gurdjieff and Spinoza, particularly Spinoza, helps us come to is an awakened state. And how do we awaken? Is to see you must have help. You can't do this by yourself. So here we are talking, and I'm endeavoring to help you identify your intelligence, because it's there. It's in everyone. This intelligence, again, is the light of the mind. It sees, understands the laws of necessity, the law of self-preservation, the law of necessity, and the law of inertia, and the law of cause and effect. But there are other laws. The conscious state that you experience, it was like a gift. You didn't really earn it. You didn't apply yourself. It just kind of happened. And so you're walking around with an awakened state, and you see it's different from your ego state. Would you say so?
Definitely.
Definitely. So the intelligence, this level of intelligence, is a high level of consciousness. Gurdjieff talks about there are 4 levels of consciousness. The lower levels 1 and 2 is only aware of existence. Level 3 and 4, particularly 4, is a level of enlightenment. Enlightenment means the light of the mind, it sees clearly the truth. And it lives. And it has this life, it has direct connection with the source. And what is that source? The infinite being. All right. So you have this experience. It's a wonderful experience, no fear, an openness, a feeling of being free. However, because you did not earn it, you didn't know what to do with it. You were just kind of put into it. It's like an open window. You see the beauty of life. However, the old becomes to come in. The old fears come in. What is this? I don't understand this. What was happening is that you were beginning to, that state, conscious state was beginning to weaken. And the old state was becoming in. What you were experiencing is the old state and the new state mixed. And the old state, you began to see the reality of your fears, the reality of your anxieties, the reality of your disconnection, because that is your normal state. And sure enough, you needed a hug because you felt helpless. You felt impotent, powerless, and not knowing what to do. How does that sound?
Incredible.
Incredible. How do I know this? I've been doing this work for over 40 years. I have a voice, and I want you to have your voice. What is this voice? Of certainty and clarity. It's not always like this. I come to this with effort. I know Spinoza to a good degree, not all of it, a good degree, enough to help us change and to learn how to see reality. So as you begin to understand chapter 36 and learn how to feed yourself with effort for the purpose of connecting with your higher state of consciousness, which is that experience that you had, and that could be your future. It won't happen all the time, but it will have more increments, and you'll be more aware. One thing will happen, as has happened to me, about over 20 years ago, because I've been doing this work 50 years now. My old friend, fear, left me. How did I know? Because I felt it. I felt different. I said, oh, I felt different. I said, oh, I see my old friend has left me. I no longer needed fear. Why? Because I studied myself as I studied myself through the factualizing and the journal of journaling my experiences that triggers my emotions, and I study my emotions and I factualize these and review the emotions and understand the emotions. That was a process over and over and over and over. My mind began to be stimulated and activated and see the clarity and the truth of it. Fear is fear of unknown. I began to know, and I no longer had the doubt that fear brings in. I did not need fear. It was okay for me to make mistakes. It's okay for me to look weak. It's okay to expose my deficiencies, my weaknesses to others, to my students. I don't have to do this publicly because they don't understand it. You and my other students are endeavoring to understand. So the need for direct self-approval works in this way. The adequate attainment of self-approval gives us a sense of inner rightness, of peace, joy, fulfillment, and freedom. If we do not come to adequate self-approval directly, then we are compelled to seek it indirectly from others. If we cannot get approval from others, we try to obtain it from our imagination. The logic of indirect self-approval works in this way. If others affirm me, like me, admire me, adore me, look up to me, like me, admire me, praise me, it must be all right. Never come to true self-approval. There is a mad scramble by people to get approval from others. But how to gain direct self-approval? Remember, self-approval is earned. How do we earn this? As you are doing. You must trust what you are doing. So as you were saying that you're endeavoring to, last week you talked about depression or feeling not how the coronavirus has and the lockdown has really affected you and affected your people other students you talk to, or say friends. And some individuals, unfortunately, find no other alternative than the darkness of the lockdown, not realizing that they have a gift. And what is that gift? Their body and their mind. You must find something to do with it, some way to apply yourself to learn how to live for the day. It could be anything, but you must find your purpose. Because you said something very important earlier, that you're always looking for rewards and external approval. That was your motivation, and that is the motivation of most people, wanting approval from others for what they do. They never approve of themselves of what they do. They do it to get approval. You become an actor, a good job, try to get that girlfriend. Want love, we want approval because we lack it. We lack approval, we lack love. So we're always seeking outside of us. So you must learn how to come to this conscious state that you experience through the effort that you put in for yourself. So you're doing these exercises now that we talked about last week, or for the first of the week, yes. Get out and just start a jog. Do some Tai Chi. Practice your music, piano. Read something. Meditate. You must do something. And you said you've done some of that and you felt better.
Yeah, I did. I did the same thing a couple of weeks ago, and I felt better. But I just need to try and create more momentum to continue it.
Yes, you must want it. You must want it. All right, so you taste it. Anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
No, that's it.
What do you think about the meeting?
This one,
Yes?
I don't think it was good. Yeah, I really like to get more into the experience of the fear.
Experience
Try
of
and
fear.
understand.
Okay, we'll talk about fear next week. So I'll see you on Monday.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll emphasize the idea of fear because fear, basically, we'll talk about it. Okay, and we'll see if this recording, it's been 22 minutes. And you have your recording also, so please listen to it.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to say goodbye. So follow the directions about how to save that recording. It'll tell you.
Do we have to stop it now and then end the meeting?
I think, stop the recording. Oh,